wolf pack, it grew by one. So were there were two of us in the wolf pack. I was alone first in the pack, and then Doug joined in later.
Hey guys, draft time. It's April 4th. Draft is May 8th. It's pushed back about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that, just to accommodate. They're saying it gives the teams more time to evaluate, but everyone knows last year they said that they want to shrink the offseason a little bit, shrink the summer, because not much happens between the draft and the season starting. So May 8th it is, Thursday night. So we'll start this off with some Redskins talk. What do you think? Who do you think the Skins are going to draft in the first round, Sean?
No one.
Oh, you guys don't have a draft pick, right?
No. If you're looking for Redskins draft perspective on this show, forget about it. Let's just skip to next year, all right? We're not drafting in the first round. I mean, I know the Redskins are going to pick up some quality players in the later rounds, so I guess I can't discount that. But most people, if they're draft-type people, they're interested in draft, they don't even think of the later rounds. They're all about first-round draft picks. Everybody knows the Redskins don't have a first-round draft pick from the RG3 pick.
This is the last year, though, right?
Yep, last year. And then but, hey, it is what it is. I still, from my perspective, granted RG3 only played 2 years, I'm still cool with that trade. I'm confident that they did the right thing. This year's going to play it out, but I'm still good with that. I don't mind not having a first-round draft pick because I've seen plenty of first-round busts.
Yeah. And, I mean, how many first-round... I mean, I speak as a Lions fan. How many first-round picks never do anything for you? Joey Harrington, as much as I love the guy, never did a damn thing. Charles Rogers never did a damn thing. Mike Williams never did a damn thing. So at least, you could say, at the very least, RG3 got you a division crown and a playoff victory. A division crown that the Lions haven't seen since the late 90s. So I don't even know what that's like. We had a chance last year. Cutler and Rodgers get hurt, and what happens? Yeah, we win one game in the last fucking 7 tries. But let's not talk about that. I don't want to get depressed on this show. It's supposed to be happy. It's a new day. This
Draft
is
talk.
Draft talk is the Lions Super Bowl. So, first round, I'm thinking, like I said in the other video, if you guys haven't seen the other one, I'll link it below. We did a free agency video. We're gonna put this up at the same time. So if you want to check that out, both ways. We picked up a receiver in Golden Tate, but I hope that we're not done. I hope that we go wide receiver the first round. The Caldwell and Mayhew's been talking about how much they love Sammy Watkins. So everyone knows that watches football know at this time you can't really listen to what people say. Because a lot of times it's all smoke screen. They're trying to say, oh yeah, we love this guy, we'll do anything for this guy, and then they have no desire, there's no point because they really don't want to draft the guy, but they're just putting it out there to try to convince someone else to draft him, so that way the guy that they really want falls to him. But at this point, I think there's 4 options. I think either we trade up for Sammy Watkins, like everyone's saying we might. We hold strong at 10 and either pick up Mike Evans from A&M, Texas A&M, or the guy from Oklahoma State, the Gilbert.
Corner.
Yep, the corner, because we need another corner opposite of Chris Houston, like I mentioned before in a prior video. And my personal favorite is trade back 8 to 10 spots. It's kind of hard to trade that far back, but if we do pick up, even 15, pick up Marquise Lee from USC, that's my guy. That's the guy I really want. I know USC receivers haven't really done a damn thing since Michon, but I still think Marquise Lee is going to be a fucking stud. There's no way a guy can get 320 yards receiving and just be a fluke. I just don't see that happen. The guy's got the work. Everyone talks about his work ethic. I know he only had 700 yards receiving last year, but he was hurt a lot of the year, and everyone knows how that season went. They were pretty bad, but those are the 4 options. Either Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, Gilbert from Oklahoma State, or Marquise Lee. But as an outsider, Sean, since there's no Skins talk in the first round, what do you think about the Lions? Do you think they'll hold true? Do you think they should trade up?
I would go for Sammy Watkins. If I'm a diehard Lions fan, I'm probably going for Sammy Watkins. I mean, the games that I saw Sammy Watkins play in college this year, unbelievable. The guy couldn't be stopped. And I think about pairing a guy like that up with Calvin Johnson. I mean, I know you can never really predict how well a player will transition from college to pro, but Sammy Watkins is one of those guys. When you watch him, you think to yourself, yeah, they're not going to stop him on the next level either, especially when you have to account for Calvin Johnson. So he's not going to go against a team's number one corner. Calvin's always going to take that number one shutdown corner, and they're going to have to cover Calvin with that guy. And I just think to myself, man, if they had Sammy Watkins, that offense would be explosive. I mean, the Lions' offense is pretty explosive anyway, with Reggie Bush. You know, Stafford plays pretty well. Calvin, Pettigrew.
Jordan Bell.
Yeah, Bell. You've got quite a few weapons. I don't know. Me personally, I would like to see Sammy Watkins. I mean, you got other quality players. I know they need a corner. That guy, Gilbert from Oklahoma State, would be nice. Granted, the Lions needed some defensive stops. That second half of the season, there were games where that defense just disappeared. So I get it. You definitely want to have a stronger defense. But to build an offense that possibly would just be almost unstoppable, I'd go after Watkins.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, I question with Watkins is that Taj Boyd is a top quarterback prospect. So is it Watkins that was dominant, or is it Taj Boyd? What do you think? You think it was Watkins that made Taj Boyd? Or do you think it's a mixture of both?
I think it's Watkins that made Taj Boyd. I mean, you know, I watch Watkins.
You're an ACC guy, so.
Yeah, I think it's Watkins. I don't think it's Taj Boyd. I don't think Boyd's going to be that great in the NFL. I think he's just going to be average. I think when it's all said and done, people are going to say Sammy Watkins made that guy look good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see the same thing. I would love that trade up. I mean, if you got Calvin on one side, as much as I love the guy, everyone knows he's injured a lot. You know, he still plays through everything, but he's got, you know, when you're that big, that fast, and you jump that high, to come down on those knees, his knees are hurting. So if we get Watkins now, you know, in 5-6 years when Calvin's, you know, in his mid-30s and slowing down, you know, he could be entering his prime. So, you know, I would like that. You know, Marquise Lee's number one, you know, if we can't trade up. That I just think it's kind of hard to trade up, and we'd have to end up giving up a lot. But if we don't trade up, then, yeah, Marquise Lee's the guy. But, so I'm looking at needs. You know, draft's about filling needs. So, number one, I think, is a number two corner, or a number two receiver. Number two, I think, is a number two corner. Or number one. Like I said in the prior video, it doesn't really matter because Lions, at least in the past, played left and right corners. They didn't play, you know, number one, number two corner. So we just need another guy on the other side of Houston. And then three, now we don't really need a safety now that we picked up the guy from Baltimore. You know, it'd be nice maybe in the later rounds to pick up a safety just as a developmental guy. But my dark horse, you know, being a Michigan fan, I know it's a biased pick, so people probably say this is stupid, but I think if they could pick up Jeremy Gallon late in the draft, 5th or 6th round, I think that would be an amazing pickup to be our fourth guy, you know, and even, I mean, you got to think, to me, I look at him as like a Steve Smith kind of guy, Steve Smith, Golden Tate, a little bit better than Tate, but he in college, if you guys didn't watch Michigan ball, he played as an outside number one receiver. Even though the guy's only like 5'9", 5'10", he played as that number one guy and out-jumped a lot of guys that were way taller than him. He played just like Steve Smith. I'm not saying he's going to be even close to that good. I'm just saying it's the same style. If you want to think of how he plays, he's a Steve Smith type player. So I would love to see him, you know, in the Honolulu blue and silver. So
yeah, I was at that Notre Dame Michigan game this year, where Gallon, I believe he set a Michigan record. It was like 250-some yards receiving, something like that, just going off the top of my head. He put on a show that night, little guy, and they couldn't stop him.
And that's in Michigan receiving core. That's really all we had was Gallon. I mean, Funchess was there as a tight end, but really it was mostly just Gallon. But with the Skins, what do the Skins need?
You know, the Skins have addressed so many needs through free agency. They've gone after. I just saw they signed Rob Jackson today. They put the franchise tag on a Rockpo, Ryan Clark, Deshaun Jackson. Believe we signed right tackle on the offensive line. I'm thinking the Redskins may go corner with that early second round pick. They may go corner, they may go linebacker, they may go offensive line. I think they're probably going to go corner. I don't know. You know, for the most part, the Redskins have filled most of the glaring needs they already took care of.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it's going to turn out to be one of those deals where they say, okay, who's the best player in this position based on our needs in various positions. I still think they'll go some kind of defensive back probably.
So, looking at just since this is draft, we'll talk about just draft in general. You know, the two most intriguing picks are Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, and Jadeveon Clowney, the defensive end from South Carolina. So, you know, people are talking about, oh, is it going to be Clowney? Is it going to be Manziel? Is it going to be someone else? Who do you think goes number one? Do you think you think Houston stays at number one? And two, if they do stay at number one, who do you think they pick?
I'm not sure if Houston's going to stay at number one. I had heard they were trying to get rid of that pick before, but I think if they do go number one, they're going to take a quarterback because they don't have Matt Schaub anymore, and they're going to want a face of that franchise. So I'm thinking that, a lot of people are saying that Blake Bortles may go number one to Houston, but it wouldn't surprise me if they pick Johnny Manziel.
I mean, they bring a local guy, being a Texas guy.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the Texans, if they do keep the pick, they're going to go quarterback. I don't think Jadeveon Clowney gets taken number one by them. Weren't they the team that took Mario Williams?
Yeah, they were. It's different staff, you know.
But that didn't work out so well for them. Not that, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're going to go quarterback. I think Clowney ends up going second or third. Johnny Manziel is probably going to end up dropping maybe to Cleveland. I even heard possibly Minnesota might try to get involved to get Johnny Manziel. But I think Johnny Manziel is an exciting player. I think any team that gets him, I'm kind of on the Johnny Manziel bandwagon. I'd like to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm the total opposite. I was fighting with someone on Twitter about this the other day. Follow us on Twitter. I don't think that Manziel is going to be pretty much anything. I think he's the modern day Doug Flutie. Like, people are saying that he's Fran Tarkenton. That doesn't work in the NFL anymore. I think he's going to be the Doug Flutie. I think he's going to last in the NFL a while, but I just don't think it's going to be as a starter. You know, I know that the short guy ends up working. Russell Wilson is doing good up in Seattle, but the difference between Russell Wilson and Manziel is that Russell Wilson has the smarts and knows when to get out of the pocket and throw. He isn't looking to run as soon as there's one sign of trouble. I think Manziel, if he wants to succeed, that's his number one. He's got to figure out that when shit breaks down, he doesn't need to fucking run at first sight of trouble. You know, he needs to get out of the pocket like Russell Wilson does, get out of the pocket, and then look to pass first. But I think he could end up having a free fall. You know, maybe not as much as Aaron Rodgers did, but I think he could, free fall a little bit out of the top 10. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not going to sit here and make prognostications. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if he does fall.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think there's too many teams that need a quarterback that are going to be willing to take a shot on Manziel. So I don't really see that happening. But I'd say Johnny Manziel and Jadeveon Clowney, those are two of the big guys. The guy that kind of still kind of a head scratcher for me is Blake Bortles. Didn't see a ton of his college film.
Yeah.
I know everybody.
Being at UCF is kind of tough.
UCF, everybody says he's impressive. I'm kind of just interested to see if a team's going to gamble on him, especially if a team's willing to take him ahead of Manziel.
Yep.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yep. All right, guys. That concludes our draft talk and our guest host of the day. So everyone say see ya to Sean. Thanks for coming. I hope you guys enjoy the double videos here. Actually getting us together instead of just, a pretty face and a voice. So, everyone, go Lions.
Go Skins.
Have a good one, guys.